Hi everybody, good night. We are transmitting from Barichara, Santander. Today is December 13th of 2018, and tonight I'm gonna start to giving you the good recommendations. One of them is one of kind of interest of the housewives who are directly interested to know this section, and I mean this is the cooking section, and we're gonna show you, or I'm gonna teach you how to make an spaghetti and meatballs. And the meatballs are a little of balls made of meat. So the ingredients are 1 dry bay leaf, salt, and pepper to taste, obviously. 3/4 cut of chopped onion, 2 crushed tomatoes, tomato sauce, half a cup of breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup chopped fresh parsley, 1 pound ground beef, 2 eggs beaten, half cup grated Parmesan cheese, and 1 package of uncooked spaghetti. And this is the recipe, and pay very attention, ladies and gentlemen, too, if you like the food too and you like the cooking too. And to start, you have to heat the oil in a large saucepan over medium heat, and cook the onion until light brown. You have to mix 2 cloves garlic and cook for 1 minute. Now you have to stir crush all tomato until you can get tomato sauce. You can put water and bay leaf. um, you can always know more season with salt and pepper. Now if you do that, you bring that to a boil, and of that way you will reduce the heat and load, and the same way we'll preparing the meal balls. Okay, in a bowl you're gonna mix all the breadcrumbs and remaining garlic and a lot of parsley, eggs, and cheese. All this is seasoned with a salt and pepper, obviously. And now you roll into 1-inch balls. Now finally you drop into the sauces. You left cook it for 40 minutes in the sauces, or until internal temperature of meatballs will reach of a minimum of 72 degrees Celsius. Now bring all this for in a large bowl of light salted water to a bowl. Leave it to boil, and then later you stir in the spaghetti. Cook that around of 8 of 10 minutes until a dent and drain. Now you finally, then you can serve it. So you can serve the meatballs and sauces over the cooked spaghetti. And I hope you like that recipe, because I know that there's a good recipe, Colombian recipe, very delicious. Actually, my mom makes that really recipe very delicious. And now continue with another news. Alright. Now we're continuing with another news. We're gonna talk about the news section. Okay, this is a really bad news, and it's about the cocaine. As you know, the cocaine trade is a global trade of violence. Okay, because the cocaine is used among the Britain's middle classes has been rising in the recent years, prompting older books from police chiefs and politicians and accusations that rising demand in fuel violent crime. Okay, today's Anuka Ashtana hears from the journalist Joe Parkin Daniels, who was in Bogota, Colombia, where he recorded crops of coca are being harvested and farmers face growing intimidation from armed groups. Now, when they cross the cocaine, they reach the west of Africa. They send it by the air, they send it by land, and they send it by the water. I mean, the drug dealers, they never stop. The drug dealers always dealing with drugs, and that's the business now. Now, actually, when the cocaine is processed, he it reached to the west of Africa, and this is making a really serious impact of addiction and obviously the violence. If the drugs, the only thing it causes are violence, according to Adiolu Ogurumbi of the West African Commission of Drugs. Now, but when the drug reaches the United Kingdom shores, it's a mistake to imply that only middle classes are the users or driving demand. This is not this is not only by the low classes, the middle classes, the higher classes too are consuming all that cocaine who is harvested in Colombia. Okay, that's what Raffaelli says. He's the actor. He's the author of Drugs of Words that and later article of this new much of this drug is further processed to make crack cocaine. That's another one of problem. The crack it's in a lot of substance. It's a substance, and you can smoke it, or even if you can boil it in a few of water, you can put it on your veins. That's what is killing the people and everyone. So where where use has been increasing. This use has been increasing in 44% in the last 2 years. It's really terrible. That's really terrible because the consumer are increasing in around the world. Also, today, in our opinion, um, we argument that if we really value of our parliamentary democracy, we need to look beyond to the notion of the will of the people because it's really affected by the drugs now. But the next new is not less important than what I just say now, and it's about the CIA. The CIA is believing Saudi crown prince ordered journalists killing sources. The CIA is finding first reported the Washington Post and is the most definitely. The U.S. assessment to date, tying in Saudi Arabia's fact is actually is this the factor really directed to the killing. The Saudi embassy in Washington reject in assessment. The claims in this proposed assessment is false because he is a spoken woman from embassy. Then she said in a statement, and we have to continue to her in various theories without seeing the primary basic basis for these speculations. Okay, for this, the U.S. by President Mike Pence answered in a visit to Papua New Guinea. He says that he is traveling with him that he could not comment on classified information. The murder of this is maybe Jamal Khashoggi. It may be killed that man in an atrocity way. It was also an affront to free and independent press, and the United States is determined to hold all of those accountable who are responsible for that murder. He says and added to that Washington want to preserve its relationships with Saudi Arabia. The State Department declined to comment. Trump and top officials of his administration have said Arabia Saudi must be held to account for any involvement in Khashoggi death, but they have also stressed the importance of the alliance. Now, the U.S. official Official have said Arabia Saudi, a major oil supplier, is always playing an important part. Is huntering what they see as an Iran maligned role in the region. They think that people are really maligned and they represent a danger for the region. President Trump has been repeatedly saying he doesn't want to impair the US's arms sales to the kingdom. He doesn't want to the US arms sales in the kingdom, was the president's statement. But meanwhile, the Trump administration on Thursday imposed sanctions on 70 Saudis for their role in Khashoggi killing. Many of lawyers think that the USA should take um, together stance, and the CIA obviously is finding likely to embolden the view. Okay. All right. In another news now, to finish this little bit section, I'm gonna talk you about the entertainment news, okay? Now, this news has more like I'm gonna talk about an actor. Maybe you heard it, or maybe you see it in a couple of movies. I mean, like Gladiator, like Breaking Weddings, among others. I'm talking about Gerard Butler. Uh, if you can see, Gerald Butler is a great actor, but you maybe doesn't know what he has been through. The Gerald Butler was suffering a self-destruction life. This actor, if you didn't know, this actor was consumed by the alcohol, but his family was pushing him to be a lawyer, and before he can get it, he was fired. Uh, Butler is 48 years old. It's an old. He's a young man, and his family always dream he will be working in a recognized always buffet, but he doesn't like the way. He always says that he didn't feel comfort studying laws. His passion always was the theater, and when he was almost finishing his career, he was fired because he left consume his life by the alcohol, but he never thought that will be a chance to take the theater away. Okay, now one more later, this is a clear example of supervision that we all have to encounter, and we have to congratulations to that man who one more later he traveled to London. He was in London, and I'm gonna tell you, he get his first job as an actor in a movie theater. It was just a simple movie theater, but that was the real signal of his big passion of for the theater now, because that will wake up the sense of his life now. I mean, with this reason, he makes sense of his life now. You know that all the actors always now mm, having a bad days. We're not the only one who are fronting for bad days now. So we finish this little transmission now. Not before to giving you a little recommendations before we finish before we finish this transmission, and it has more like a tourism. We are transmitting from Barrichara, Santander now, and now I'm gonna invite to everyone to can travel and to know this town. I mean, you can travel to Santander to come here to visit us. We are always transmitting our information from this little town, especially Barichara. This is a resting place, and it's a good place. If you want to come here and take in a resting place, you can do it. Everyone is invited. I hope you enjoy my video. I hope you enjoy all this news. And don't forget about I'm W. Oswaldo Parra. And always take care. Today is December 13 of 2008. Don't forget it. And remember, God always blessing you. And have a great night.